Hey, friend, have you heard of this thing called imposter syndrome? Stick with me as you and I walk through this and we look at it through the lens of human design and some of those subconscious belief patterns that are really holding us back from our own greatness. So, welcome back, friend. My name is Leanne Wolf. I am your human design professional and your BG5, the business and career consultant. So, over the course of my lifetime, which has spanned 45 years, one of the most fascinating things to me is to watch human behavior and watch how we unfold. Now, the human design system does a really, really good job of interacting at a deeper level of our mechanics, how all of those frequencies actually work inside of our body. Now, what I love is this whole idea of imposter syndrome. So for me, what I see in people when they have a sense of this imposter syndrome is that the action that they take actually leads to inconsistency. Now, why does this happen? What is this imposter syndrome all about that leads us to this inconsistent action or inconsistent movement? Well, what the deep level is that it's actually a fear of inadequacy. Yep, a fear of inadequacy. Now, there's two spaces in the design that talk about the fear of inadequacy. So I work with coaches all over the world. I help them create a purpose-centric business so that they're not going outside of self, trying to figure out what it is that they want to do, who they want to target, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I bring it in here so that their purpose is purpose-centric and they move out. And then they attract, including manifestors, they attract their clientele based off of the design, not off of the avatar, ideal client, or whatever that is. Because once we turn the coaching process or the business into a purpose centric, then we're standing in our own frequency. And from there, what we get to do is represent it. Okay. So this imposter syndrome comes when we feel like we are inadequate, that we're not measuring up, we're not good enough to help our people, we're not this, we're not that. So I help my clients absolutely go into all of their life experiences, whether that be career, whether that be personal, whatever that is, all those life experiences, so we can extrapolate all of those experiences, all of the skills built out of there, so that we can then build that business from that space. Now, are there business skills built right into the human design? Yeah, there is. But the human design doesn't dictate our experiences. All it dictates is what our frequency is. The experiences that we have are always going to be dependent on the environment that we're in, dependent on who we're with, what relationships we've had, the family that we were raised in, the part of the world that we are in. So you can have the exact same design. And I have had this, no kidding. I have had two people, the exact same design, exact same name presented to me, totally different skill set. They were raised in two different, completely different homes at completely different spaces in the world. So what we do is I can help you extrapolate out so that this imposter syndrome no longer holds you back, so that the action that you take is consistent. Because that fear of inadequacy, which is in two places in the human design body graph, gate 48 and gate 36, they are there so that we can recognize the awareness on the other side of it. So the awareness of that 36 is all about letting the anticipation of the experience unfold. Okay? That's what 36 is all about. We are designed, totally, completely designed to have our own experiences. And we will always be inadequate until we've had the experience. The 48 is all about being able to put our own depth into practice and provide the solution. So some of you might go, yeah, but I don't have that in my design. So how can I do that? We have everything in the human design body graph, whether it's consistent or inconsistent or not defined in our body graph, okay? And if it's not defined, we're learning wisdom there. So all inadequacy really, truly is a space where we can recognize that we haven't had the experience before, or maybe that we need to pull in our own depth from the experiences that we've already had so that we can present that in our current business. Okay? Now, the fear of inadequacy also then, what it does inside of our brains, inside of our minds, inside of that convincing mind, I no longer really call it conditioned mind. I call it the convincing mind because it is trying so hard to convince you of things. So that convincing mind will tell you things like, you're not good enough to do this. It will convince you that you're scared, that you're afraid, that you'll never, ever, ever reach your full potential. But what we want to do, and Ra always said this, you guys, what we want to do is we want to recognize that convincing mind. Don't let it make our decisions, and we want to allow it to just do what it's going to do, and we move forward through our strategy and authority. Everything comes down to the throat center and the communication and the actions that we take. So I want you to do some homework this week. Where are some areas in your life that you're inconsistent? Okay. So where are the areas where you're inconsistent in your, maybe it's in your business, maybe it's in your relationships, maybe it's at work. What are those inconsistent areas? Now, is there a sensation of feeling inadequate? And if there is, lean into that feeling. Okay, lean into it. Fear, worry, anxiety, nervousness, feelings of not enough, all of that stuff teaches us something. It teaches us some deep, deep wisdom about ourselves. So lean into it, honor it, say thank you for those emotions so that you can then turn it around, move through it, and then step into the next new thing or the next skill or the next experience with this baseline of being okay, feeling that fear of inadequacy, and yet taking action anyway because the strategy and authority are moving you there. Now, something I want so deeply to get across to you guys, anybody listening to this, is we have to know what are the pattern beliefs that are holding us back, and not getting the pattern belief that has us fail backwards into an old pattern confused with strategy and authority that is having us fail forward through an experience. Okay, that's a deep, you might want to, go back, listen to that again. That's really what we want to get down to. Because if the belief patterns that are having us fail back into those secure patterns are not allowing us to recognize the fear of inadequacy, hold it, feel it, honor it, and move in to the next new thing with strategy and authority, if we can't do that, then the convincing mind has us always moving 2 steps backwards. So play around with the homework, throw in the comments below what it is that you pulled or extrapolated out of this. And I'm going to leave a link for you guys to get onto my newsletter as well, because I actually do write-ups about this kind of stuff too. Not only do I do it here as a video, but I also do write-ups. As well, there's times where I throw in a couple little bonus offers out to my newsletter people as well. So if they want to come on a call with me and things like that, then they can do that. So below, if you want, number one, you can grab your business chart. You grab your business chart, what it does is it automatically puts you into my newsletter. 2, when you're on my newsletter, there's some special things that go on there that I don't offer anywhere else. And 3, play with the homework. Comment. What is it that you've learned through your human design and the fear of inadequacy, or your inconsistent actions, or this imposter syndrome that people talk about? What are you learning about you in that? As well, please, if you are ready to step into your new coaching practice, if you are a spiritual practitioner or a coach and you want to change your business model to a purpose-centric business model, apply below. Let's get you catapulted into this next entrepreneurial movement that's taking place for 2027, so that you can do it in a way where you attract versus push, 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 hustle, hustle, hustle. You can stand in all of your fears and all of those emotions and still move forward and attract the wealth, health, clientele, and relationships that are important to you. All right, see you in the next video.